Hey guys, it's Brandon, aka Be Rich Beauty, aka your beauty best friend, and we're all about reality today on this Monday with Jeremy McShann and I. So you know what to do. Grab your beverage. Let go. Hey, Jeremy McShann.
Hi, Brandon. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing, sugar?
I'm blessed and highly favored, blessed and highly favored.
Covered in the blood.
Yes. How was your weekend?
It was good actually. Aside from me being in a car accident on Friday, I mean everything else was
No,
great.
I still can't believe that.
Mm-hmm. Sideswipe, honey. Just
Oh my God,
sideswiped.
that is
But
crazy. Well, thankfully you're okay.
I'm okay, right? So I can't complain. My passenger and I are okay. How was your weekend?
It was good. A little derailed. I was supposed to go to a beach in Delaware, but
Uh-oh, what happened?
traveling sometime with five black people just didn't work itself out. So I
I was
ended
gonna
up
say,
having a quiet weekend here in DC.
please don't tell me you lost something else, child.
Okay. Listen, I don't need to go on no more trips.
You stay losing something.
Okay, listen. My mom used to say I would lose my head if it wasn't attached to my body.
Okay. Jeremy, what you sipping on over there? Let me
You
guess.
know,
Friend.
of course, we need the strength to make it through.
Speaking of making it through, you ready to jump into all this good old reality TV that we had over the weekend?
Yes, let's do it. And we're going to actually kick things off today with Love and Marriage Huntsville. And it opens with Melody filming her Telltale Signs video. And so, I mean, it was very interesting to see this. One of the things I noticed when I was watching it, I was like, geez, how much did this cost? Like, it was a whole big old production. Did you see all the cameras, all the people? I mean, it was a whole.
There was some cameras there, but I also felt like maybe there was some own cameras there too that may have gotten in the mix to make it look like
Okay.
it was bigger than what it was. But she
Okay.
had a director.
She
She had
did.
good two camera people, and she had her friend Stormy's home that she utilized
She
to
did. They
make
had a
it
lot
do
of
what it
property,
do.
Stormy, and she looked like she about to have a baby.
Who was
One
that?
of Stormy looked like she was having a baby, right?
She did. She did. I was like, is she pregnant, sugar? But Stormy had a beautiful home, by the way.
She did. Um, One of the funny things in the moments though that I thought was really funny was when Melody was getting ready, Malia comes in and she's like, "Have you been in that makeup?" And Malia's like, "No." And Melody's like, "Are you telling me a story?" And I thought it was so funny because growing up, we were not allowed to say the word lying. You had to say telling a story. And
Uh,
that was like, so
uh,
that just kind of like took me back. And I was like, oh, that must be like a Southern thing because like saying lying was the equivalent of cursing. So you
yeah,
always had to
yeah.
say like telling a story.
Or
So
a
I thought,
tale or a fib. Are you fibbing? Right.
right, yeah. So that took me back. That took me back. But the video is out. So if you're interested in seeing the finished product, go to your nearest YouTube and type in Melody Telltale
Did
Signs.
you watch it?
I did watch the video.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm.
so Siskel and Ebert or Siskel and McShann.
You
How
know what?
many thumbs up are you giving it?
I mean, the video itself was actually a pretty good video. The song is a little, it's a little different for me, but the video was it was good. The video
The
was
song
good to
is
me.
different for you, but the video is hidden.
Uh,
It hit the mark.
I mean, it was very professionally done. The quality looked good. Her costuming looked good. She had tried to give you a little two-step dance up in there too. Like, I mean, she was giving it to you. She had a fine old man up in there too. I was like, yeah.
It was the walking of the dog in the rain for me.
Listen, it was what it was, but Melody Hotel, Telltale Signs, YouTube, go
All
watch it.
right. If I have some extra time this week, I may check out the video.
Right.
Now we saw the video, but can we just get into the meat and potatoes? So Jalen has been going. I feel like poor Jalen. I feel like I have to say poor Jalen when I say this. Like he's been
Yes,
going
that's
to
my
gym.
man, right?
Okay, you and Destiny, y'all can be sister wives. Okay.
I'm down for it, girl. Let's work a schedule. Let's work a
I'm not doing
schedule.
this with you.
Let's
But
do a schedule.
so Jalen's at the restaurant. Tisha comes in with her little black little sweatshirt on, which was actually kind of cute. But they had a whole mass exodus, and they literally was so concerned about Jalen sending emails at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I don't run a restaurant, but I've been in people management and in retail and understanding of business for a very long time. And according to Jalen, cooks quit, servers quit, bartenders quit. That man said he was in the kitchen cooking and making drinks. And you want receipts? No, sis, I can't give you receipts. That's not my priority. My priority is getting your customers in and out and fed and lick it up, sis.
On a holiday weekend.
On a holiday weekend. And she said, well, I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't matter if you're not sending out the reports.
Right. And he was like, I would have expected you all to be up in this kitchen helping out as well, too. So, I mean, they're very, very hands off. And I think any small business owner knows that you have to get in the weeds with the people there in order to make it a success, especially when you don't have the help. And the fact that you were like saying, we made it through, but then you're like, coming down on this
you
man.
Made it through. Like, this is what makes you a better person. No, sir. This is what makes your restaurant successful for the money in your pocket. Not only is it a small restaurant, but people are coming to see you and Tisha. And if the service is trash, guess what happens? It's Tisha and Marcel's restaurant, Marceau, excuse me, and the service was trash.
That's true. So hopefully the next time Harriet come to free the workers from Black, Jalen will hop on that train and go and leave. He needs to leave.
I think Jalen should quit. And if Jalen watched this episode, when Tisha leaned over to Marceau in their interview, confessional, and she said, I told you we should have hired an experienced GM. That would have been the confirmation of, you know what am I doing this for? Because whether or not you have an experienced GM or not, if you have a mass exodus of people going to freedom, as an experienced GM or not, they're still going to have to be in the kitchen serving and cooking and everything else. Like at this point, you need to send your children there on the weekends if you don't want to be there, and have your kids in your restaurant. But like everything laid in Jalen's lap.
That part, I agree with that. And hopefully, he will get to it. But the fun part about this episode was that they went to Viva Las Vegas. Yes. And so, that was a great time. They had a beautiful Airbnb kind of home.
With everything.
It was really nice. I mean, the size of the pool alone, I was like, wow, it looks like a resort kind of pool. So it was really nice. And, they have conversations and they're getting ready to go in the pool. And I love the back and forth showing the difference between Kimmy and Maurice getting ready. Kimmy putting on her swimsuit and Maurice is being very flirtatious versus Tisha and Marceau. She's trying to be flirtatious and he's not here for it at all. He's just like, girl.
At all. But you know what? That's indicative of their relationship. And I think that's what makes Kimmy and Maurice so endearing, is that they show love to each other. They are communicative with each other and outside people as well. And, you see that there's a communication breakdown and, between Tisha and Marceau all the time. She's always having to be on Marceau about being romantic and showing up as the husband. So I think this was a great example of the difference between these two brothers and how they operate in their relationship. Now, I will actually say this. I was quite shocked and surprised on Tisha's taste when she booked that Airbnb or VRB.
Oh, she did that. She did that. She did it. Yeah, she did that. Now, quick question.
Yes.
Let's see. Stacey. Hey, Stacey. Hey, boo. Hey, Stacey. Good afternoon. How you doing? Thanks for watching. Okay. This is for the people watching as well, too. Marry, shag, kill, Maurice, Marceau, and Martell. Who'd you marry? Who'd you get it on with? And who'd you kill?
Oh, my God.
Get rid of?
Totally. So, Marceau, I would kill. Okay. I would shag Martell and marry Maurice. He's the most balanced out of everybody.
Very good. Okay, so we're gonna be fighting for husbands, because I would marry Maurice. I would get it on with Marceau, and I would kill Martell. So guys, let us know in the comments what you guys would do. So when they were in the kitchen and they were like having these conversations and going back and forth, lots of joke, you could tell they was turned up because the drinks were
It was
flowing. They
them
were just
shots.
okay. They was just saying anything. But one of the things that Tiffany came down, made a comment about, what happens when the kids go to bed, and Marcel was like, I try to know as little as possible about kids. And Tiffany's like, I wish he wouldn't joke like that. And I'm like, girl, he is not joking.
He's not joking, but she even said, if this is really what's coming out of his mouth, this is what he means. Hi, sis, did you not watch the first 2 seasons before you joined this cast? Right. Did you not realize that he's chauvinistic? Like, he wants to be as hands-off as possible, and it's not a man's job to know about the kids. Like, that's just who Marceau is.
Facts,
hey, David Lee.
Right. David Lee. And yeah, so I also don't know how they made it 15 years either. I mean, I do know Tisha's personality.
We know exactly how.
Listen, because she didn't get free. I mean, Harry had been missing lots of homes in Huntsville. So she needs to go by Black. She needs to go by Marceau and Tisha. Pick them up. Y'all better go.
If hashtag free Britney was a thing, hashtag free Tisha should be a thing.
Yes, no, for sure. And, the comment about Kimmy keeps coming up about her being a side chick. Where now I'm just like, where there's smoke is fire. Was this girl a side chick or not?
Okay, so that's a very valid question. Was Kimmy a side chick or not? According to Kimmy, she was never a side chick. However, we also learned that it was. Did I get you on the brows? I'm sorry, Jeremy. Did I get a little on you?
No, yeah, a little bit.
However, it was obviously, it started as a joke between Martell and Marceau. So it sounds like that joke grew legs, but as much as you could tell it's a joke, it actually bothers Kimmy. And if she was legit never a side chick, I would be upset too, because that seems to be the narrative. I forget the baby mama, like the first wife's name.
Kiowa.
Kiowa, yeah. So we're gonna be like, it's something urban, Joe. Kiowa, thought you called her a side chick at one point, and she was like, for the record, y'all weren't together when he and I met. So I feel like it's a sore subject, and because it's not coming from a friend circle, it's like pew 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 pew. Don't do that.
See, I don't know, because even if I was a side chick, I'd still be mad that it's being discussed. But I need to know when did y'all exactly meet? And were he and Kiowa together, living together, doing all of that? When did y'all meet, and when did y'all start dating? In relation to him and Kiowa being together and separated, that part is not clear.
If I recall the timeline correctly, he and Kiowa were separated, like legally separated, when she met him, and then obviously his divorce followed. So technically, yes, still married, separate legally, but that's when they met. And so you're not a side chick if you meet somebody and they're separated from their spouse. You're only a side chick if this person goes home every night. Martell.
Now, is it a side chick though if you're separated with the point of, I need some space because I'm not sure what I want to do with my relationship, or is they separated because by law, in order to get divorced, I need to be separated X amount of time? That does also make a difference.
It does. And in my Law and Order, SVU and criminal intent education, I think it might have been, I need to be legally separated X amount of time before we can get divorced.
Okay. Well, listen, I don't know, but she don't like it. And it carries over into the pool where she's saying that she doesn't like it. And, Tisha was like, well, since we're being all open and honest, you said F you to my mom. And Kimmy's like, what? And she's just like, and I agree with her, she's like, Wanda gaslights you, and then you come at me with all this heat, and never once do you question that. She was like, well, am I supposed to assume my mom is lying? Yes. What? Like, this is crazy, Miss Wanda.
It's not even assuming that your mom is lying. It's just assuming that your mom is telling a tall tale,
Yes, right. Yeah, she adds to it, right.
Tales. Wanda is a tall tale teller.
Right, it happened, but you gotta let me take a couple of layers off, and that's the truth of what happened.
Exactly.
Listen, right now, because if she was telling your car accident, Miss Wanda be like, Lord, Brandon and came, a car hit him, threw him off the bridge, all of this. We'd be like, what?
Freedom, Jesus, right? Everything.
Listen,
so Wanda, we realize Wanda is messy Wanda, and so therefore, here's the thing. Tisha should even know better. Tisha knows how her mother shows up. Her mother comes with a destructive spirit each and every time. She has a spirit of destruction all up, wrapped up on her, right? So with that spirit of destruction, Tisha should know, I'm going to hear you. I'm going to ask some follow-up questions, and we're going to peel back some layers. And then instead of me saying, well, I'm just going to talk about this in front of everybody, my mama said that you said F you. Ooh, I almost said it. And I think it should be, you know what? Let's talk about this really quickly. Hey, Kimmy, my mom said something happened between y'all the other day. Tell me about it. But people don't have the
Let me get your side.
People that way.
Right. That's true. That's true. She should have asked her. And then it carries on to the whole Jalen conversation, which we've already talked about a little bit. And our summation of that is Tisha and Marcel know they was doing wrong, and Jalen needs to leave because it's now seeping over into family business, even though Tisha's like, I keep it separately. No, you don't.
No, you don't. Exactly. No, I agree. And you know what? To Tisha's point, you're going to defend your child because at this point, Kimmy is reading the text messages and she called them out. She goes, there's tone. First of all, Marcel, you sound stupid. It is oftentimes hard to determine tone through a text message or email. You can think, you can apply tone based off of what you know about that person, but you don't know specifically what a tone is via a text message, right? But because they've been going back and forth, Kimmy was able to call out there was tone on both sides of the argument, on both sides of the conversation. So at this point, who's going to be the adult? Because this is your business and he's the general manager. You're supposed to take responsibility for your employee.
Jalen better go on down to Applebee's and apply. These places are hiring. But I mean, those Love and Marriage Huntsville, it's going to heat up. Melody and Destiny get in town next week. So it's about to be fire. So tune in next week and I can't wait to talk about it.
Did you notice Martell was on his best behavior, extra quiet and playful, right?
I love this side of Martell and I really wish we could see more of this because you can see why Melody fell in love with him. He is a fun, a playful kind of guy. Because we see what happens when he can't deal with conflict and emotions well. So stay away from me. But, it was really fun to see him like that. So, I mean, we're not going to see it again, but I mean, that was a nice kind of to see that. But, let's talk about Miss Potomac, my ladies in the backyard.
Let's talk about it. Let's start first with, do you want to start first with Candice's conversation with her husband?
Let's talk about it. Chris is talking to her because they still haven't resolved this conflict with them about, the manager versus the husband and the duties. And he's just saying, basically, you know what? I feel like you don't think what I have going on is important or you don't really care about it.
Very valid.
That's causing the conflict. And, and it is true. I mean, she definitely is her mother's daughter. I mean, she gives Miss Dorothy what she gives to her, she gives it to Chris. But one of the things that I do like that she did apologize and took accountability, which is one of the very first time genuinely that I've ever seen Candice do this ever. And you could tell she was very remorseful about it. She took accountability for it. And, hopefully they can move forward. But it did bring an interesting question to me. And it was just like, how long do you wait after to speak to someone and try to resolve conflict after you've had a disagreement?
So here's the thing. I'm currently single, but I am a firm believer that if I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to bed mad with you. Like, we got to talk about it. Yeah. And if we can't go into the details of it, we're not going to go to bed mad, but you realize we need to talk about this tomorrow. Like there needs to be, I just can't lay next to you I'm upset with you. I just can't.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, I'm usually one of the people that like to talk about it right away, but I have grown to learn that, like, if someone communicates to me, hey, I'm going to talk to you about this. Let's talk about this tomorrow afternoon after work or something like that. As long as you give me some kind of time frame to work with and don't just leave me hanging out in the dark, like wondering, then I'm good with that. I saw this one thing that was this meme or something like that was just like, the boyfriend was still mad at her, but like brought her like some Chipotle or something, child. And it was just like, I'm still mad at you, but I love you still, and gave him that. And was like, but I'm still mad. And Absolutely. I was just like, love that. I mean, that's a great way. But listen, I'm trying to resolve conflict ASAP. So that's just me.
I don't like that energy. Now,
Yes.
Jeremy, were you an extra in Karen's Surrey County infomercial since that was in your backyard?
You know, listen, you know, I was trying, I couldn't quite make the casting call.
You didn't
So
get the call?
I didn't make the casting call. So unfortunately, I did not make it, but it was so funny that she's building a filming a tourism video,
In
not even
Potomac.
in the city that she's saying coming to. And she's like, well, wherever I go, Surrey, they're Surrey. So I'm just like, Karen has the best responses to questions.
My favorite was, and come to Surrey and go to Trader Joe's. I was like, I don't think that's what you meant, ma'am, but okay.
Like Farmer Joe's.
As you slide down a slide in some heels and a dress. Like I was
Right.
really
Like,
trying to figure out how any of this aligned with Surrey County and how is this going to drive tourism to Surrey County? Am I coming to go down a slide? Am I coming to see Trader John? And what am I coming to Surrey for? Have you been to Surrey?
Right. I've not been to Surrey. And then she was just like, you know, the peanuts, and many people don't know that peanuts come in a shell. Like, ma'am, everybody knows that peanuts come in shells. Everybody knows that. Like, who doesn't?
The Surrey peanuts.
So, in case y'all didn't know, peanuts come in a shell. I know because Five Guys sell them in a shell. Well, you have them while you waiting on your burger.
Oh gosh, that's
Don't judge me. No judgment.
Go ahead and eat your hamburger, Handy.
You know, yes.
But speaking of food, go ahead.
No, I think you're going where I was trying to go. So you go.
Are we talking about this picnic?
Let's do it. The goddess brunch.
Go ahead. What you got?
No.
What did you think about it?
You know, so it was an interesting concept. I thought it was really pretty. One thing I didn't notice, I was like, oh, they're supposed to be on the floor with these knees? Like, how is that going to work for all this time? Pillows, but listen, your knees still got to be folded. But who did you think looked the best?
Okay, and here's the thing. I'm not going to tell you who I think, well, I will tell you who I think looked the best, but I'm going to tell you who I was shocked that looked so good.
Okay.
And it was Robin. That purple dress on Robin.
Okay.
Her hair and those little pink curls and the way it was styled.
I thought Marilyn Monroe.
She showed up really pretty and regal, and that purple looked gorgeous on her. I can't tell you the last time I think Robin looked so nice. I was shocked that Robin showed up looking like that. It was that
consultation. It was a consultation with the therapist. The life coach got it together, and she came up showing up as her best authentic self. Go, sis. Who y'all think looked best?
Escala looked really beautiful to me, and I really love what Wendy wore as well.
Yes, so, Wendy and Escala were my two top. Yeah, definitely.
Listen, leave it to the Africans to show the girls how they showed up so regal with.
They did
with their African royalty. Like
was sent me back to the motherland.
And Candice showed up with a hydrated wig.
I didn't understand what she was, because she was just like, she filmed her video, but I'm like, girl, this is just a wig. You can take this thing off. But maybe her hair wasn't done and she had to keep it on. Hey, innocent spectator. What they talk about?
I like Karen, the new girl, Wendy and Giselle looked nice. Robin's dress looked like prom.
It did look like the prom. It did look like the prom. Now, I was not the greatest fan of it like everyone else was. It did give me very like 1970s prom. But
it was goddess, but it was pretty.
It was prom queen. But yeah, okay. You know, she's up there, goddess, queen. It is what it is. And so, you know, they go around and do let's say what I like about everybody in the table. And, you know, they're able to communicate that. And so for Giselle, and Giselle just has to be messy, so messy. I just don't understand, like so messy. And she just gets it popping with Karen, and they go back and forth about this whole situation. And Karen finally was just like, listen, well, someone asked Giselle about the rumors about Jamal. Was that the case? And Giselle claims that she knew about these rumors already.
I think that was Candice.
Yeah. Do you believe? She said Jamal told her. Now, when she said that, I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way this man told you that. Ain't no way. Girl, get out of here. Do you believe that?
So I'm not shocked. I really believe that she and Jamal, because they've been in each other's lives for so long, and Jamal has taken her to hell and back. I think they've now gotten to a point where he probably can be very transparent with her, even if it hurts her, right? So I feel like she may have heard it. She may have had to approach him, and then he confessed. confessed. I don't think Jamal brought the information to her on a silver platter and was like, hey, by the way, I'm doing this. But I think because of their history with each other, she was able to say, all right, what's going on? Because I'm hearing such and such and you acted weird. And he probably was like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm doing such and such. I feel like that's Jamal's spirit.
He heard about it. She heard about it after the reunion when the binder cing out, because there's no way, knowing Giselle, she was shut all the way down, but she had nothing to say the rest of the reunion. She was beaten down so bad. And if I know something, you come after me about something I already know, it don't faze me. I'm like, next question, please. Girl, I already knew that. So what?
Yeah. I agree. I think she went to Jamal, and then Jamal was like, yes. And then so now she's like, oh, I knew, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. Do you think they wiped the plate clean? You know, Karen apologized if she hurt the children. And
she made that. But she had to apologize because what Giselle, and I think it was a smart tactic on Giselle, because what Karen is asking for Giselle turned around and put it back on Karen. She said, that's my kids. You hurt my kids. It's a family. So now, if Karen wants his apology from Giselle, she has to also give this apology because now it's about the kids. Right. So she had no choice but to apologize.
Very fair. So do you think the slate will be wiped clean, and for how long?
No, because already Karen don't even know about Giselle's comments at Robin's dinner where she said both she and Ray will be dead before she ever apologized. And I'm like, that's going to start it all over again.
I'm surprised nobody brought that up. But you know what's going to happen? Now that they've watched it, she saw that, and it's going to come up during the reunion. And we're about to be right back at square one all over again. That's exactly what's about to happen.
But I did love that all the girls, they were like, no, that's not cool. You don't need to say that because this is a very thing. And you know, Giselle be the main one crying if we woke up tomorrow and found out Karen Huger died. Like the main one crying. What is she talking about? Like, you cannot play around like that. You just cannot.
I agree. Can we talk about why Dylan goes everywhere? I mean, I get it. She just had a kid, but why is the newborn at the goddess picnic? I just couldn't get over that.
Listen, you know, Ashley is a very attached mother, a very hands-on mother, you know, like that's just her motherhood kind of thing. And so it takes her a little while to let go. You know, it's very difficult when you have these kids and they're babies. The very first time you leave them for a chance, I don't have kids, but I know so many mothers who have just gone through this and have talked about it, like the very first time they've had to leave their kids and how traumatic it is to them and how hard it is for them. But, you know, like, and their kids are everything. And, you know, like, even when we look at talking about kids, Wendy and Eddie, like that moment when they had to have the talk with their kids was just heartbreaking to me, where the guy's just like, well, if I grow up and will a police kill me because I'm Black? Right.
I think, you know, smart for Bravo to ensure that they keep those things in the storyline and not on the cutting room floor, because obviously everything that's happened in terms of racial reckoning. So I appreciate that, you know, we have like the Garcelle and Beverly Hills to be able to have those conversations about seeing color, X, Y, and Z. And now we have, you know, these conversations happening in the Potomac as well. And I also think it's quite impactful because the Potomac is only a rock throw away from the White House. So as we're talking about the country and everything else, this is really kind of smart for them to keep those things into the storyline for white America to see, and everybody else outside that might not be a person of color, because it is our reality. Did you get the talk?
You know, I didn't. And, you know, there's a really interesting question I was going to just throw out to you and people in general. It's just like, at what age did you realize that you were being treated or you were different because you were Black?
So I don't know if it was an age necessarily, but I do remember like having the conversation right when I started getting like my learner's permit. It was like, if anything ever happens, you get pulled over. This is what you do. You keep this accessible here. You overly communicate. And, you know, I haven't had a lot of, thankfully, knock on all the wood, sugar, but I've only had one instance with a cop where I really felt racially profiled. And the joke to this day is I don't go to, and it happened at me dropping my aunt off in her neighborhood in Charleston. She lives in a really beautiful neighborhood. And I got pulled over one night dropping her off, and because she doesn't drive after dark. And the joke now is like, I don't go to your neighborhood after dark, sugar, because I literally was traumatized. Like, The cops made me call my aunt and my uncle to verify that I had just dropped her off. You know?
Which is crazy. And yeah, I've had like similar stories which you don't even have time to talk about that have just literally left me in tears after the encounter. And I think that's one of the things that people don't get, because even when like this conversation Wendy and Eddie were having with their kids were such a stark contrast to when in Beverly Hills they were like, well, you can't talk about the kid to this when they're a kid, it's gonna break their innocence. And it's just like, well, they're Black. We are very, very, our experiences are very, very different. And it's not right. It's not fair, but we have to do that. And that's just our realities. You can not have this conversation with your kid because your kid mostly is not going to be impacted by this. I don't have that luxury. And until our situation is, we're more equal in that sense, we're going to have to continue. Like Michelle said, it is what it is. We're going to have this conversation. And, you know, I loved how he ended it. He said, well, what if I grow old and be like Martin Luther King and make it so that Black people and white people aren't a threat? And I was like, oh, like Wendy has to be a proud mom moment there. You know she is.
Innocent Spectator said my conversation was about being a plus size Black woman. Oh wow.
Wow.
That's I didn't even interesting. Think about that. Yeah. Existing in your skin and also existing outside of what society deems as, you know, standard. That's a very interesting thing as well. Thank you for sharing that, by the way.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it is crazy, but I mean, that's Potomac.
Honey, listen, if you come for me, I will send Jesus after you.
Oh, listen, that was my tagline. That's my favorite tagline. I was like, oh, Mary. That's my favorite tagline.
Can you not weaponize Jesus, please? I was like, come on, Mary.
I have so many issues with Mary. It's just unreal.
Mine, I do too. So let's just jump right into it. So Salt Lake City premiered last night, right after Potomac, and Salt Lake City gave us all the smoke within the first couple of minutes.
Did.
Jeremy, grab your mug, sugar, because I'm on a roll.
All right, let's go. I need some strength.
So we see Jen getting on, you know, the cast bus for the cast trip. Her getting a call, who we now all think that the call came from Sharif. And I love the fact that she realized she got quiet. That thing got so serious. She had to ask Whitney to turn off her mic. She got off the bus. She said, I got to go. Somebody whisked her away in an F-150 pickup or some version.
Right, yes.
And then we see pictures and videos of the feds in her driveway taking stuff from the house, sugar.
Right. And Shasale 2.0.
So let's just jump right into that. First of all, the first chalet was rented, and so
this one's rented too.
So my thing is this purchased? Is 2.0 rented as well? And
it's rented.
And with whose coinage? Because at this point, your feds had to make a note.
Our grandma and your grandma, that grandma's money. Allegedly. Listen.
Allegedly. But here's the thing: that house is gorgeous.
It is really pretty.
So you think about all the things that are going on with her, with wire fraud and all this stuff and all this money, and she has this beautiful, lavish home now. You don't think the feds are making notes now that the show is starting to air?
Listen, it is a joke. I know Erica from Beverly Hills is so happy that this show has premiered to take some of this heat off of her. But like, you know, like looking at the extravagance, because she was like, the movers have probably never seen so many shoes and purses. It's just like people that are uber wealth, like, it's always the people that are flaunting everything that they have, or the people that don't genuinely have as much as they proclaim. Because like you don't see Kathy Hilton, you don't really see Kyle really flaunting stuff like that. But you see like the Ericas, you see the Jens of the world just flaunting everything there. And they end up in these situations, which is just beyond me. And you know, she even talks about like her and Sharif almost getting a divorce, which I mean, I'm not surprised.
Kill, marry, or what was the thing? What was the game we played? Kill, marry, or
right? Yeah. We're gonna have to do would you rather because we don't have enough for that. So would you rather his son or the daddy? Sharif or Sharif Jr.? Who'd you rather?
So Jeremy, what you're saying is you're now at the age that you could date somebody's son or their daddy?
Well, I've always been at that age. No age discrimination here. Discrimination here.
I need you to make some disclaimers here. Go ahead and put some
okay. Right. Well, their son usually is probably about my age, so that's the disclaimer, or they
Okay.
daddy who is not. So that's what I meant by that.
But Sharif Jr. is 26, sugar.
Yeah, I'm 36.
Okay, that's about your age. Listen, I'll let you do the math because your math ain't
Right.
math. But go ahead.
At these days, I'm no longer the son. I'm more the daddy. So
Or
get
the
into it.
zaddy.
Get into it. Right. So who'd you rather, the son or the dad? Senior or junior?
So let's ask the audience. So
Who'd y'all rather?
who would y'all rather, Sharif Sr. or Sharif Jr.? Innocent Spectator said, but the son is cute, but she said it's the daddy for me.
Yes, it's the daddy for
Well,
me.
you know, the daddy typically comes with a little bit more experience in life.
Okay, well, I, typically lean towards the daddy. Excuse me, I'm all choked up, child. I typically lean towards the daddy, but in this situation, strangely enough, I'm gonna have to go on over to see about the son.
So you want Jay? So you're in the son golden age. You want Jalen and you want Sharif Jr.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. What is going on with me? Because I'm usually like zaddy all day. Like normally give me zaddy or give me death. But now like, oh, I'm about to go do some reflection after this here.
Call your life coach up.
Oh, she said, teach me, daddy. Okay, yes, teach me, daddy.
Sharif can teach you how to catch a ball. Anyways, let's move on. So obviously she got this new house. We see that Sharif walked out and Sharif had the divorce attorney on speed dial.
Speed dial. He wasn't playing with her because I already know she was yelling, screaming, doing all her stuff she's been doing on this show to him. And he don't got time for that. Not in his peaceful Muslim state. Like, we are about peace. We are about like, I'm not Muslim, but listen, that's what they about, peace. They ain't about drama. Take that back over to Hawaii somewhere, but not over here. And I'm Muslim, peace.
Don't mess with my name, your whole ring, your kill.
Listen, I'm just saying. And then, all this talk, if she go to jail, she better not carry that to jail because she would get her ass beat down.
So let me tell you something. I don't know if it was foreshadowing or what, but there is a moment between her and Meredith. And she says,
or Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. And she says, honey, I'll fight. I'll go to jail for you. Girl, you foreshadowing? Don't manifest your jail sentence, sis.
Okay. Don't manifest it. And, it's really nice to see the women there. Whitney is starting a new product line called the Whitney Rose product, which I think is very, very smart. This second season, even if it doesn't do anything, let me try to sell something. Let me make the most out of this that I can. So I thought that that's a great idea, that taking advantage of her opportunity there.
But that's what you're supposed to do if you're a housewife. When you have these platforms, you launch your other businesses. Because apparently, the checks it's second season. So the checks aren't that robust. And I don't know if it's just not robust for her because, Meredith got herself a new house.
Leased. Yep. That was leased too, I'm sure. Yeah.
Is it Lisa? Yeah. Lisa. Yeah.
No, Meredith. No, I said leased. Leased the new house.
So is that the thing that they do? Is they lease the homes in the Salt Lake City?
I guess up in Park City, they lease their homes. But can we talk about Whitney dropping this cake
3 times?
3 times, and her nasty ass was gonna pick that cake. If she would have successfully picked that cake up and put it back on there, she would have took it back out there and served it to them people.
She did. This first time she dropped it, she picked it back up. When she was trying to grab the plate. If she had just picked it up, she could have salvaged that cake.
But that was nasty AF. That she was going to serve these people this cake that had been falling on the ground. She relit the candles and everything.
They vaccinated over there. They're vaccinated over there.
No.
That's a real vaccination.
No. And so best of luck to her. Now your girl Mary, who you come for me, Jesus will come. What is it? Jesus come for you? I forgot what it was, but
Jesus after you.
I'm gonna say Jesus after you. So last season there was that she's married to her grandmother's husband. Now She's trying to tell us this whole pandemic, her and her husband been living apart because 6 months because she said he was in Florida when it happened and he was afraid to get on the plane to come.
Okay, so here's my thing. I have some things. Because as big as that house is, he could have thrown on a whole CDC hazmat suit, got himself on the plane, and quarantined in one half of that house. The house is big enough. Something ain't right in that water. He stayed in Florida for 6 months, living a whole nother life. And while Mary was in her closet talking to her synthetic wigs and all her purses.
Now, listen, it's still not clear if he's back because I feel like they're saying the pandemic has been lasting for 6 months and he just been there. Because, like, where is he? And so she has launched this podcast as well, too, called Talking Facts with Mary.
It was so uncomfortable to watch.
How did Mary... Innocent spectator, girl, Mary was TV gold. Listen, had not been for Mary, part of Salt Lake City would just not have existed. Her whole situation along with her grandfather just got everybody's attention. And then when you really think about all the drama that happened, and Jawad says,
Grandmama's husband? Yes.
Grandmama's husband. Oh, yeah, grandmama's husband. Grandmama's husband. And so all the drama was involved around Mary saying something to the other women, and then they're going back and forth. And so, like, Mary was very, like, vibrant. I mean, a big part of season 1. So I'm happy she came back. But this lady stopped this man in his mid-prayer. He was halfway to the king, and she didn't stop him. Dead on his tracks. Talk about it's too much. It's too much.
It's too much. It was a lot, though.
Girl, you don't know my story. You don't know all the things I've been through.
It was just an opening prayer for a podcast. He was giving us Sunday communion service kind of prayer.
She went in.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing. You don't stop people in mid-prayer just to take control and have the takeover spirit hit you, and you redo the prayer and be like, and that's how it's done. Girl, it now no longer has the same weight.
No. Now, a question for you. Who do you think has the worst fashion, Mary or Giselle?
Well, here's the thing.
Right.
Mary has the pieces.
Yes.
It's the assembly of the pieces for me.
Agreed.
That's where it throws me off because Mary got the pieces. Giselle lacks the style. Does that make sense?
Yes. Heather was on Watch What Happens Live and they asked her about that, and she said Mary is just like a hurricane went off on Rodeo Drive, and it all just kind of sucked up onto Mary. And I was like, that's perfect because she got the stuff. She got the right stuff.
All the right stuff, vintage stuff. Like it's a classic Coco Chanel syndrome. It's like before you walk out the door, take off one item. And in Mary's case, it's like take off 3 and you still will be overly accessorized, boots down, honey. Like, right. I appreciate Mary's eye for pieces. It's the assembly for me and the synthetic hair.
Yeah. And then we get to meet the new housewife, Jenny, which I think I'm going to like her. This Asian lady that, bringing more diversity and thank you. Bringing more diversity into this franchise. I think this is probably the most diverse franchise of them all. We have Black, we have Asian, we have Hawaiian, we have it all.
Mormons, I agree.
So I love that. But then, I love her story of just, coming over from Vietnam in a boat and then being sent to a camp and then having to come be sponsored by this church and growing up. I mean, she has a very powerful story to come from nothing to be where she is today. Wow.
And the kids are cute. Well, we still don't know what she does though, right? We don't know.
Her husband a chiropractor, and I don't think he could be bringing it in that house with a chiropractor.
So I don't know, but Dewey's not a bad looking guy.
She said from the neck down.
I just need to make sure that Jenny is not pulling a whole nother Jen Shaw either.
No.
What Jen Shaw did either.
Listen, Jenny has come too far to be doing some foolishness like Jen Shaw. Now she did, like her daughter said, we are Asians, not Besians. I make all A's, okay? We don't do B's around here.
The kids are
Asians.
cute.
I was like, yes, they are cute. I love them. Now the son, Lisa's son, talk about he have inflammatory in the chest. I'm like, girl, that is COVID. What is she talking about? What is she talking about?
Well,
Like
he
the
heard-
chiropractor ain't gonna fix that. No.
he was adjusting that COVID up out of his chest. allegedly.
Was.
Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed our recap on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Housewives of Potomac, and Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Guys, if you just joined in, make sure you catch this. It's on my Instagram, my YouTube page. And I'm like, what platform is this on right now? This is on the YouTube page. Feel free to watch it. Share your comments. Whew, that was good, Jeremy Michelle. Any final notes?
Good. That was good. Y'all follow me on IG.
Make sure you follow Jeremy McShann at Jeremy McShann on IG and on YouTube as well.
On YouTube, on both, yes.
Jeremy Dance Around. And on that note, guys, we got to go. You know what to do. Subscribe to the channel if you like this video if you like, and leave us a comment. Most importantly, make sure those notifications are turned on. Who loves you? I do. See you next time. See you on Monday. Bye.